Hello, everyone. Did that work? What did I do? We didn't need that light, did we?
No.
I think that works fine now.
Yeah, the light seems fine.
Okay. So, welcome to our live broadcast. It's something to say tonight. Oh, you know what I was thinking? I'm going to Florida this winter, and it's kind of personal. It's not really. So I don't know whether anyone's actually at all interested or what you think, Robin. But I was going to get presents for my mother and my brother. And I was thinking, what could I do? What could I give them that we'd both agree was a good present? Because like if it was up to me, I'd give them a trip to a meditation center or something. I think that'd be more about me than about them. So I thought we could go to a homeless shelter or something and make a donation and give out food or that kind of thing. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be neat or maybe it would be neat if our online community got involved and we did some kind of winter giving thing together, where we all. I mean, because I actually can't give a gift because I got nothing to give, but I have many people who are happy, who want to help me do good things. It's like Ajahn Tong. Ajahn Tong has no money, but he has millionaires and billionaires who want to back him up. So he just says, let's do this, and suddenly he's got people helping him. Now, it won't be on that scale, certainly, but maybe that would be kind of neat, no? And then take pictures of it. I don't know what there is in Tampa. I was looking a little bit, and it's all Christian stuff, which is fine. There's one organization that's non-sectarian and seems to be secular. They say secular. So they're probably mostly Christians, but they sound kind of open, and I have no problem working with Christians as long as they're not pushing God. What do you think, Robin?
I think that sounds like a really cool idea.
It doesn't have to be big scale or anything, but
No,
then I could present it as a gift. I could somehow give like receipts. What do you call these? Some kind of certificate that you've given, like I gave on behalf of you, that kind of thing.
Yes, a gift certificate.
Well, it's not a gift certificate though; it's a donation certificate or something. Like you give them the thing that says that you gave $100 or whatever on their behalf.
Okay, I don't know the name. I know what you mean. I don't know the name of it. That's a nice idea.
Yeah, so I actually emailed just to see what was there, this one group, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. Although I think it was just yesterday and probably over the weekend they were not doing it. So we'll see if by the end of the week, we'll wait to the end of the week and maybe they'll contact me.
And maybe your friends at the Florida Buddhist Wihara might know of something.
If Sandamali is watching, or if she ever watches this video, maybe she can help out with that. Give me some good ideas. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'll email her if she doesn't email me after this. Sandamali, if you're out there, email me. Let me know what you think. If there's any sort of charity we can get involved with, do a charity thing. Because it'd be neat if I could actually get my family out to take part in that. I'll be there for 8 days. We won't be doing much. We'll just be sitting around, enjoying each other's company. So it'd be nice if we had a day when we could do something.
That is nice. Yeah, sometimes families go and they volunteer together at a soup kitchen or homeless shelter or something.
I mean, I don't know what the situation is in Florida. I mean, it's not like here where it's very cold at this time of the year, so they really need it. Like if we were doing it here, it'd be awesome because there's people who are in pretty desperate straits as it starts to get cold. But in Florida, it's warmer, so it's not that sense of urgency. I mean, the real thing is that it's Christmas, and you know, one thing we did in California was all the Thai Buddhists got together, and I just showed up to appreciate and take part. But they went to an old age home and gave gifts, just like care packages. Because a lot of old people actually, their family doesn't come and visit them, or they don't have family. You know. I don't know about that. I don't know how it works, but yeah, some old age homes it's actually quite unpleasant. Or anyway, they don't get visitors, and not
Yeah.
very.
Sometimes people end up being placed somewhere far away from their family, and
So that's something. Maybe I'll wait and talk to Sandamai. But I might need help.
oh, we're there. We can definitely discuss that at the volunteer meeting and see how we can help.
Awesome. It's always nice to do concerted. Is that the word, concerted?
I think that means focused.
Concerted, like working together. It's an interesting word because it's a concert. A concert is concerted effort. Coordinated effort. The word is concerted, which is
Collaborative effort. Concerted is jointly arranged, planned, carried out, coordinated.
That's it. Concerted effort. That's the word.
Right.
It's an interesting word. It refers to a concert, or it's the same as a concert. Right? It's where the word concert comes from. The concerted giving, concerted effort or concerted good deeds is important. It allows us to work together, and it brings us closer as a community. It's an excuse. It's an encouraging thing because you see other people doing it, right? So you feel more confident about it. It's more powerful as a result. You're able to do bigger things than doing just by yourself, and that is encouraging. Like if you just do a good deed by yourself, it feels like a drop in the bucket. But when you get a lot of people doing a little good together, it's much more powerful. So, yeah, awesome. Let's do it. Let's do something.
Yes.
We'll do it for Florida. Do some good deed for Tampa Bay area. Hopefully my mother isn't watching. I don't think she watches these. She sometimes tunes in at the beginning. She likes to see me.
She might have tuned in at 9 then, so hopefully because this one was a little later, your secret is safe.
Maybe. Do we have any questions tonight? Looks like we don't, actually.
Just a couple of nice comments. Just want to say how much I enjoy your Dhammapada talks on YouTube. For me, the longer, the more teaching I get from them. Please keep up the good work. And gifts that keep on giving. Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone. I've gotten several encouraging comments. I wasn't really thinking, I mean, I did say that I don't think there's anything wrong with longer videos either. And so it's not like I'm self-conscious about the length or anything. It's funny, I remember giving talks, and sometimes you're under a time constraint, and so someone goes, and it's so funny, like going over the allotted time span, because there's not much you can do. It's You teach what you teach. And I remember like looking up and saying, "Oh, it's already 2 hours have gone by," and people are starting to kind of feel it. It's not easy to be an audience sometimes. Well, it does depend on the teaching.
How was the flash mob, Bante?
No, it didn't happen. No one showed up. So, actually, one man showed up, and just to talk to me. He works at McMaster, and he's going to come by on Wednesday.
Nice.
So, yeah, the flash mob thing, rather disappointing, but not very well coordinated. See, I could have just stayed and meditated on my own, but I was kind of determined not to do that because I don't want to give the impression that I'm advertising, because it's this whole thing about standing out, right? I don't want to stand out. I don't want it to be about me. Anyway, didn't happen, which is okay. It's not really for me. It was more for people who wanted to come and meditate. There was one woman who said she would be there and didn't show up. Maybe she showed up late. I didn't stay. I only stayed 10 minutes. I stayed 20 minutes, but I got there 10 minutes early, so maybe I should have hung around. But it's been like, that's like the third time that I've gone somewhere and no one's showed up, so forget these people. I got a call today from someone in Toronto who wants to come and do a course here. Don't know how he found out about us. Probably Meetup, right? That's the big thing. Meetup has our telephone number on it, is it?
Meetup does have the telephone number, but I don't think Meetup directly talks about the residential courses, but it does link in your website and your...
He called to ask if we had courses, so somehow he heard about us. Maybe we're on a few directories, I guess, now, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of links on the Meetup page, so he must have found some information.
But are we on like Yelp and Google, and what are we on now?
We're on Yelp and Google, and...
So does that mean if I had to go to Google Maps, I see us?
Actually, I forgot to put the code in that you gave me, so I'm not sure if you would get the driving directions. But
eventually it's going to be on the map, right?
Yes.
Right near TriStar Computers and Comic Connection. I got it's not really for this broadcast appropriate, but I got I'll talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It's nothing big. It's just it's something that, well, I guess I just don't want to make the person. Someone sent me a gift, and I'm not sure if I can use it because it was from the US. And it doesn't mesh well with Canada. So there's this isn't the first time this has happened. I've got another gift from Tim Hortons. So, but it's for the US and it doesn't mesh with Canadian Tim Hortons gifts. So I'm not even sure if I can use it at Tim Hortons. I haven't tried, but because it's a little more awkward to do so. But now the same with Starbucks. Starbucks gift that I don't know if it'll work or not.
Well, you can bring them with you when you go to Florida.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Although we definitely have Starbucks here. Not so many Tim Hortons, other than New York State. Upper New York State is filled with them, I think. But
I don't know if you can use the I think I can maybe use the American Tim Hortons here. I think there was something about that as I emailed them about it. But the Starbucks one, it's a little bit different. I can try. I think I'll try. Anyway, I guess I just wanted to bring it up because if anyone did want to do the help keep me alive thing, better to do it in Canadian terms because the American isn't really working. The other thing is I'm not getting for some of the, I don't know if I want to go into this here, but I'm not getting for PitaPit, I'm not getting people's names, so I have no way of turning. So if you send me something and I don't get back to you, I may not have the proper information to do it. Doesn't mean I'm not appreciative or didn't get it.
No, that's good to know about the American version of cards. Generally, it seems that the websites are there's .ca in the web address somewhere. So
Yeah, somehow someone went to the wrong Starbucks address, because there is a distinct CA address, and it's exactly the same, except the address. I couldn't register on the .com one because it looked for a zip code. So I was like, wow, I can't even use this card. And then I found, oh, there's a Canadian version. Just tested it out, because that's what I actually put on the website, right? And that works, because then it asks for a postal code.
I'll see if there are Tim Hortons in the Tampa.
It is owned by Burger King now.
Oh, okay. I'll see if there's any in the Tampa, Florida area.
No, it's not a big deal. Because I'll be with my mother, and she's going to take care of me. She loves to feed me. It's the Italian upbringing, I think.
Then you can bring her to Tim Hortons.
This is true. I could, or Starbucks. If I got the Starbucks, I could bring the whole family, treat them out to a Boxing Day brunch at Starbucks. They don't really have brunch there, do they?
No, I think I don't go to Starbucks very often. I think they have mostly little pastries to go with the coffee.
You have
As best as I remember it.
spinach. That's what this card I'll use for. It's got these nice pastries with spinach and cheese and stuff. Sustenance. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I don't want people to think I'm advertising these, obviously.
No, I think it's useful information because,
But I'm not trying to hint at anything, because there's people have sent me lots of stuff. People want to do it, want to help keep me alive. That's great, but there's not a pressing need today about it.
So there is a Tim Hortons at 401 Channelside Drive in Tampa, Florida.
No kidding. Well, we're not in Tampa. We're in Dunedin, so it's even to go into Tampa is a bit of a chore.
I'll check that then. I'm sorry, how do you spell Dunedin?
Dunedin. Dunedin.
No. Well, not within 5 miles anyway.
Yeah. Maybe Starbucks? Probably Starbucks.
Oh, I'm sure there will be a Starbucks.
I'll take them for Starbucks coffee. My mom drinks coffee. My stepfather drinks coffee. My brother probably drinks coffee. I'm sure he does. Take them for a good Starbucks coffee morning.
There you go.
It's already paid for. So it's a wonderful opportunity to create family goodness. I don't know.
Yes.
There's so many people. One of the things about being back a little bit closer to society is there's so many people who need support, and there's so little support for people who need it. That's really shameful. I mean, there's really a need for this kind of thing, which is kind of why it's funny that no one's taking advantage of it, or it's slow for people to. And students are so caught up in their studies. I mean, many of them would never have the time. But this morning, I was this woman who's now become probably my best friend at university. It's kind of funny. Tomorrow morning, we'll be sitting again together in philosophy. And I mean, there's no danger of anything. She's got a boyfriend, so it's not like there's a danger of her getting attached or something. But she's I mean, so many people like this. She's got 2 jobs, and I mean, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't broadcast people's lives on the internet, but so she was, and she's a wonderful person. She's involved in peace advocacy. She said she's got both Muslim and Jewish relatives, and she's got a half sister, I think, in Syria, or she had a half sister who died in bombing. And so she's very much into peace work and helping refugees, and she's very involved in our Syrian refugee thing. And just a really sensitive and nice and kind and thoughtful person. And struggling, because she can't get a student loan for some reason. I mean, I was talking this morning why it's got to be wrong. There's got to be some way to appeal it, but I don't know. It's not my business. And so she started meditating, and she was supposed to come out today. And it's amazing that we're not more together as a society. We've lost our sense of community and supporting each other and so on. I think students are sensitive to this kind of thing because you see people hanging out and supporting each other, but just very, very busy and overstressed. Now, these people would be an awesome place for community, the university. But it seems there's not so much because people are too busy, too stressed, tired. People sleep 1 or 2 hours a night. Before our quizzes, people are sleeping 3 hours because they had to study for the quiz all night. Writing papers. I remember when I was in school 16 years ago, stumbling into the office to submit a paper, and I was, the world was like this. It was blurring in front of my eyes, and I could barely walk because I had been up for who knows how many hours finishing this essay that I ended up doing not very well on.
Bhante, did you have any experience with universities when you were in Buddhist countries?
Very little.
I'm just wondering if it's different.
Well, Buddhist universities are fairly laid back, it seems. They're not well accredited, so yeah, they don't seem all that rigorous in their training. I mean, I've heard things about secular universities in Asia that make them very difficult, but they've traditionally been fairly poor in terms of creating comprehension, and they've been much more about memorization. So they don't prepare for... Monastic schools are still very much like that. Like novices who learn Pali in Thailand, it's ridiculous how little knowledge they come out with. They've memorized everything and they can pass the exams, but they know very, very little. And as a result, the teachers, if you ask the teachers a question, they're like a parrot. All they can do is parrot back what they've learned. They can't analyze and give you an explanation. Very few of them. Some can. The really good ones, and the ones who went on, I think. There's a couple that I know who went on and did the really high Pali studies. So they're serious and they're more open-minded about it, more thoughtful. But Asian people don't stress like we do. It's interesting. I mean, that's a gross generalization, but the societies tend to be far less stressed. I mean, I don't know Japan and Korea, probably different. I heard they can get quite stressed, but I think in a different way. They still seem much more together. Japan is weird that way. I've heard terrible things about how they snap. Not snap, but like when they have parties and so on, they really go to extremes.
The people in Japan, from what I've heard, they work a lot of hours and they don't even take off the days that they're allowed to take off. And there's a lot of stress that way. They're very competitive.
Right.
But that's probably the exception to the rule.
But Southeast Asia maybe is what I'm thinking of. Thailand, Laos, Cambodia. I don't know about Burma, Sri Lanka. These Buddhist countries, we're pretty laid back. It's just a generalization. People do stress, but not the way here, there's not nearly the concept of taking drugs or taking medication, like antidepressants or anti-anxiety. I'm sure there are people taking them, but as far as I know, I mean, it's funny because we've in the West, we've come to accept it. It's socially acceptable. Where in Asia, there's a culture instead to deal with it, to help people deal with it. You've got a support group, and social cues are there to keep people from needing to take this medication. But in the West, since medication is the acceptable thing, I would argue that it is more necessary to take it for those people because they don't have the support network. They don't have the other means. So it's an interesting argument that part of keeping people from needing to take drugs is the society that we live in, having a society that supports people who are depressed. But we don't really support that. And we've come to, I think, pharmaceutical industries have really pushed this idea that better living through chemistry, right? That never really took off in Asia, I don't think. Not in the same way anymore.
It's amazing with the drug commercials. I watch 1 hour of TV a day. It's the news, and every commercial is for prescription medication.
I'm in Florida. My mother when my mother's watching the news, I see it, and it's shocking,
Yeah, and they just make it look like so much fun to be having this medication or that medication. Then they give all the side effects, which are up to and including death. But still, obviously, people are willing to take that chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's like those warnings labels on cigarettes. We were talking about this in the other day when I was talking to this smoker and these smokers, because he said cigarettes are more, he prefers cigarettes over this vaporizer stuff. And I said, well, that's it. It's like you become conditioned to like things that are actually kind of horrible, inhaling smoke. And I said, yeah, that's it. And I said, so even with those labels, there was something, somehow at some point I said, even with those labels, and I said, I bet you probably look forward to, you probably associate the labels with your clinging, you associate with your addiction. So when you see these terrible labels, I don't know if you have them in America, you have these labels with people with cancer, lip cancer or mouth cancer from smoking. Do you have those?
I don't know. I haven't looked at cigarettes in a very long time.
They have these graphic logos, pictures of people on the packs, on the cigarettes.
There were TV commercials like that with people who had lost their vocal cords and things and had all sorts of horrible things happen to them. I don't know if they still have those, but they were pretty graphic.
Anyway, we have strayed far. Let us end on that note. I'll see you all tomorrow. Or you'll all see us tomorrow. Thank you, Robin, for helping out.
Thank you, Bante. Good night.